think we're good to go. Let me test that out a little bit. Turn that down a little bit as well. And we should be good. Okay. Hey, everybody. Hope you guys have all been having a good day. You can kind of see Loki down there. I have my desk standing up today. I'm trying to stand up a little bit more here, even though I'm a little bit more sick. I am getting over an irritated throat at best, a cold at worst. I'm not entirely sure what it is. So this will be about an hour-long stream because I'm not entirely sure how much energy I have to talk for an hour. But there is a lot to talk about today. We have to talk about the market kind of having this mini crash day where everybody was freaking out. The holidays coming up, economic data coming out tomorrow as far as the CPE. And then on top of that, Loki wants a treat. He wants to say hi to you guys, but the desk is up so you guys can only see his ears. Maybe if I put his little bone thing up in the air, you may be able to see him grab it. Look, maybe. I don't know. I don't think you guys can see him. You saw it kind of vanish, I would assume. And hey, Jonathan. Hey, Censored Crypto. Hope you guys are doing well. So let's just kind of dive deep into it. Let me know if the music's not too loud or not. I've been looking to get music back on the channel. It's always been kind of hard because YouTube has the different rules out there, but I found another platform that works well that doesn't mess up my 24-hour streams here. Now, let's go over here to stream. See, and hey, Larry, thoughts on Elon's Twitter Doge meeting planned for Christmas? I don't really have much thoughts on it right now. It's more of like what I think when the meeting actually happens. This just boosts my confidence that Dogecoin is going to be a good. It's going to be a good return on my investment next year, or during the next bull market. I'm happy to see this thing is going forward. You might see Dogecoin have a pop and make some people a quick bit of money. People may even do some longs over the next few days just in preparation for that. And they'll probably sell when the news comes out because after the news comes out, people are just going to take their profits and run temporarily, right? So more of a buying opportunity, if anything, but you did see it did lead to a little bit of a boost in the price action today. Now, as far as the markets are concerned, let's talk about everything going on because nothing is very pleasant today. I don't think we really saw many green things up on the charts. Basically, there was a lot of puts being bought by me. You can see the Nasdaq bounced off of a Fibonacci level. Crazy things happening. Because technically, because of this, we just officially broke down. Not looking too good, but we did manage to bounce precisely off of a Fibonacci level here, which is always a beautiful thing to see. I don't know if you guys were doing any puts throughout the day, but if you guys were looking for a signal to close your puts, it was as the Nasdaq was coming into contact with this level of support right here. Now, you could have used this again with, I guess, the SPY and other things out there. You guys know how I like the simple tools. They usually work pretty well if you guys know what you're doing. Right here as well. This one wasn't as precise, but I was fine with it. I scaled out right there thinking we might pop up a little bit more, even though the Nasdaq at the same time was actually coming back down. But overall, I was still pretty happy with it. With some of my plays, you can trade the SPY with options, but you can't trade the Nasdaq, right? Okay, but the whole market is definitely just back into that downtrend. We've been talking about this for a while, so just to reiterate here, in case some of you guys have been away, the market's been kind of scaring people off. We're still working our way in this downtrend. We're kind of in this halfway pad. Remember last time we had a little bit of a spike, then we kept on coming back down. Over here, we had a little bit of a pop right there, a little bit of a pop right here, and a little bit of a pop right there before we ultimately made it down there. So we might just be doing in one of those, or maybe we're going to have such good economic news coming over the next few weeks that somehow we manage to have a breakout. Always a possibility, but just be careful. Our support levels keep on getting destroyed time after time. Every single time we get into one of these downward moves, we might have little pops here and there, but eventually we do find a way to make new lows. Unless the market can kind of turn around, we're probably going to do something similar to that over the next few weeks, okay? Now, both NASDAQ and the SPY both having those issues here. I think the SPY was a little bit different. We just talked about that. But, yeah, more like that. However, the Dow Jones still being the thing that managed to break out while everything else was in this nasty downtrend. Right? Breakout, it's now testing off those levels of support right now. We'll see what happens if it can break out. But, unlike the SPY over here and the NASDAQ, there's no golden cross occurring between the 50 and the 200. It seems like tech and the SPY, SPY, are definitely having much more of an impact on the overall market than the Dow Jones. The Dow Jones is just going on a ride all of itself over there, and it's looking pretty fine, pretty fun. But if we do manage to break down below the 200 daily moving average as far as the Dow Jones is concerned, we should have a pretty fast downward move down to like 31,777, which from here is about 3%. It's like another 3-4% day. And then we'll probably start the move back down towards $30,000 or so, which would be a pretty sizable move. I know 30,000 is not a large number, or it is a large number, excuse me. But, that'll bring us back another 8-9%. So get ready for that if we have a really bad tomorrow and possibly a bad Tuesday. Remember, the market's going to be closed next week for those of you guys that like to trade options and whatnot. Crypto's open 24/7, which is always best. But as far as Bitcoin's concerned, there's a few things I want to talk about as far as Bitcoin. We all know we broke down. We talked about that a while ago, and we're still kind of in that nasty downward trend. We may be looking to make a peak here pretty soon just so we can have another level of resistance. But I'm not too concerned with that. Right now, this is what's going on through my head. You guys know I like traditional tools. I don't like to go all crazy unless we're doing a deep dive and we're adding GAN boxes, fib levels, and stuff like that. GAN fan levels and things like that. But today, or I should say yesterday because I was sick, we're running back into this level of resistance right here from this Fibonacci extension. It just happens to be around 16,924. But I think right above that, you can see the 20-day moving average is the real big thing to worry about. We need to find a way to break right above that. There's an opening here and a downside. This is a good side and bad side, right? The bad side here is, let's start off with the bad news. Bulls are going to try ferociously over the next 4 or 5 days to crush Bitcoin down to about under $16,000. $15,500. They are going to try to crash Bitcoin, okay? That's the bear's job right now. That's their goal as shorters. Bitcoin longers out there, the bulls, their main goal right now is to get us to break above the 20 and the 50 in a very, very robust upward move here. If they're able to do that, we could be testing out 17,700 really quickly here, which could lead to a golden cross, give us a little bit more momentum, and actually bring us back over here towards $19,000 in the next 2 to 3 weeks at least. Probably 2 weeks at the most, I should say. But that's what needs to happen. We're going to have to get that big move there. We don't know if that golden cross is going to lead to an upward move then a crash, or something more of just an upward move than a crash. That's kind of the signal that we've been having over the past few months. But there might be a big move here upcoming, but if I was a bear, I would do everything in my power to stop that 20-day moving average from crossing over the 50. That means over the next 48 hours, there is probably going to be an attempt to dump Bitcoin, okay? That's what I'm going to be watching for closely. You guys, one of the things I do when I trade is I pretend I am, in quotations, a god of the charts. And which means, what would I do if I was the chart to signal that, hey, this is not going to occur, this bearish thing isn't going to occur, this bullish thing isn't going to occur? How would I do that? What signals am I looking for? And right now, if I'm a bear, whatever happens, I just don't want Bitcoin to break above the 20, the 50, or have that golden cross there. The golden cross would probably happen after the big boom would occur. But we are in a time-sensitive event that could really pump up the market here really, really quickly. If the bulls get their way, we should have a pretty sizable level of volatility headed our way here. Just my little thought about a forecast. You saw the same thing happen over here. We were getting closer and closer and closer, and then pop, all of a sudden we were booming up pretty well just to get that golden cross in there. I want to see if we can do something similar here. I'm not entirely sure how far it's going to take us, but I do think we're going to have some intense volatility going into the weekend, and I'm going to love that. As far as the market's concerned, guys, the whole thing was just a trash market today. At least we kind of rebounded through part of the day, bouncing off of some of those Fibonacci support levels. There wasn't really much there besides the Fibonacci levels. A quick little tidbit here. For the members out there, I did put out a members video. I don't know if it got published to you guys. Or I do know it got published, but I don't know if everybody's watched it yet. But one of the things I did want to talk to you guys about very fast. On Sunday, I told you the most bearish thing I'm really bearish about right now is going to be NVIDIA. And so far, that sucker has continued to break down. I just want to, for those of you guys that like to trade options, you'll see that right here on the NASDAQ, that, and the SPY, I guess, this is NASDAQ play, but you see how we had this false breakdown right here, which kind of freaked everybody out. That little close below the upward trend, then a pop, then a drop. Always in this current market environment, make sure you're keeping an eye on where the NASDAQ is and the SPY is. if the NASDAQ hit a support this day, even though this was breaking down, because it pumped up the next day, if you bought a put right here and you didn't do a day trade like I normally have been doing these past few weeks, you might have gotten burned right there on a stop loss. That's just another reminder for you guys. Be safe and make sure you guys have a SPY chart and a NASDAQ chart also while you're trading. So depending on how many monitors you have or how big those monitors are, right, you might have, 4 charts for your day-to-day stuff like your Apples, your Teslas, your Nvidias, and maybe your Microsofts. And then you have 2 other charts out there that are the SPY and the NASDAQ, and you kind of move those around as you like. But I would really suggest, that you guys do take into account what the indexes are doing, because it can get a little bit freaky there, especially if we go over here one more time to the SPY. And we talked about this, I guess, in a few videos here, but you can see how we were bouncing off support over the last couple of days. Because we're at support like that, you got to be a little bit more careful, especially the NASDAQ here, which was bouncing off of that support level right there, okay? Careful with the technicals alone for the stocks. Crypto is a little bit easier because everything kind of flows with Bitcoin and Ethereum, but, it's not going to be that easy going forward with trading in this bear market, which I don't believe is going to end anytime soon, unfortunately. We still got some, a few months left. All right, but one more thing here. As far as Ethereum is concerned, we've been managing to hold support for a while. Just like Bitcoin, they're both primed for either a really big move or a really bad move. But I bet there's going to be some extreme volatility coming here probably by, I would say by Sunday or so. I know the Christmas is coming up. I'm probably going to be trading a little bit on Christmas because I expect some volatility. But yeah, Christmas is on Sunday, and Christmas Eve is on the 24th. If you guys celebrate any other Hanukkah, any other holidays like Hanukkah and stuff, happy holidays to you guys. It's that time of year, and it feels good. I'm going to get me some eggnog and whiskey probably. I need to find some eggnog, and I need to find some whiskey. But I'll buy some soon enough. Amazon, I think, is getting pretty slow on those deliveries, at least out here. Oh, it's supposed to snow in actually about an hour here too. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, the market is primed for a pretty big move. I am hopeful that we can boom up. I know all the indexes just broke down, but they managed to hit a little bit of resistance as far as the fibs. Tomorrow will be a big day to see whether we're going to be getting crushed back down or at least trying to have a pop here. If the market can just stay above those fib levels, Bitcoin can have a nice pop. But you can bet that there are bears right now trying everything they can to really push Ethereum back down to 1,150, and they really want to push Bitcoin back down here to, let's just say, at least 16,289. But to me, it seems more like that $16,000 level would be more than enough for Bitcoin, just because of, I'll show you guys this. Bitcoin falling 3%, it's done that plenty of times. Can Bitcoin fall down 4 or 5% a day? You bet it can, right? We haven't seen that in a few days, though. So, right. So, sorry for the stutter, guys. I'm still getting back to talking. My throat still hurts. All right. But I just want to remind you guys of one thing here, which we do every now and again, probably closer to the beginning of the month. But we got some of the major crypto assets out there. Bitcoin is actually up in the last 30 days. Ethereum is up. BNB, where's BNB? Down 7%. XRP down 6%. Dogecoin only down 1%. Dogecoin's having a better second half of the year than most other currencies out there. A lot to do with Elon Musk buying Twitter, right? ADA, last 30 days, it's down 17%. Matic down 5%. Polkadot down 14%. Litecoin down 5%. Litecoin had a really big boost, 60 over the last 60 days. And Sheeb's down 5% and so forth. We can keep going down the list here, but you can see there's a lot of mixed assets out there. Toncoin, I don't know much about this coin, but it looks like it's doing pretty well right now. But want to remind you guys, it's been a pretty bumpy ride for a lot of different assets out there. If you guys are going to be dollar cost averaging like I am, I'm just going to continue to buy. The only time I tend not to buy, and I let you guys know ahead of time, is like, whoa, we're pumping up a lot. I don't feel comfortable buying at these levels because I know, since I believe it's a bear market, we're going to keep coming down. And until I feel like we're at that bottom, anytime we have a massive spike in Bitcoin price, I tend to just day trade it, maybe do a short-term swing trade, but I just don't bother with it anymore as far as dollar cost averaging. Because right now, it's just, to me, it's just the market's just going to keep on going down, and I'm perfectly fine with that. And hey, Starscream, happy to see you back, my man. Do you think data tomorrow morning will be bullish or bearish? Thanks for your hard work. I would expect it to be more bullish. So the data I'm expecting tomorrow is for the CPE For those of you guys that don't know, there's CPI and CPE. CPI, or the PCE, I think that was what it is. CPI is inflation for consumers. Me, you, when you go to the grocery stores, buying cars, buying gifts for our friends and family for the holidays, that type of stuff. CPE is what the businesses are paying for. So what is Costco paying for? What is the mom and pop shop paying for? What type of inflation are they dealing with, okay? So we're going to have those numbers out tomorrow. It's not going to be something where the whole world is watching, but it will give us a pretty big, quite a bit of information here. I think the whole media narrative right now is kind of going towards Sam Bankman-Fried. If you guys don't know, he was posted bail today, of all things. I was really surprised. I bet it was part of the deal, honestly, where the Fed said, hey, we'll allow you to get bail if you come to America so we can prosecute you and send you to jail. We still don't know if he's going to plead guilty or not guilty. The weird thing is he might have been able to do it today, but what I heard from Fox News, Fox Business News, and CNBC is that the judge that was supposed to hear him today just wasn't there. He might have been sick. Maybe he's taking the week off for the holidays. That's totally reasonable, right? But so the next time we're going to hear about Sam Bankman-Fried seems to be around January 3rd. And I'm hoping once the court trial and everything is kind of scheduled out, I'm praying like really hard that we could actually get access to the courtroom. I think that'd be absolutely awesome. But I have no idea how that's all going to play out, especially with Caroline and Gary Wang turning on him. Does he really have much of a case? What will his lawyers tell him, etc.? Because he may try to fight, but man, I just don't see it working out in his favor at this point. But let's listen to this right here. I think you guys can hear everything. Let me turn off the music for just a second. Let's turn that volume up, and let's listen to him walking out of the courthouse.
Just posted a $250 million bail. Now that number is raising tons of eyebrows over the size of it. It's one of the biggest we've seen for a situation like this. Where the funds came from, as Mackenzie Segalos reported last hour, they are in part secured by real estate owned by his parents. His parents also had to co-sign for this bail. This is the blue suit he's been wearing, as by all reports, in so many of these appearances lately. But here we seem to be getting some of the first pictures of him back on U.S. soil.
And the terms of his bail, as I saw in the last hour, include a tracking device, a forfeiture of his passport, and other location monitoring, home detection, so on and so forth. That could, and I assume he will be restricted to probably the tri-state area. Who knows?
I think she said Northern California.
Oh, is that right?
And the understanding is, I believe he's been living with his parents in the near term. But again, it is a very, very large bail that he has just posted. And now we're able to finally get a look at him after only seeing and hearing reports about his demeanor throughout the course of this extradition period in the previous days.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can see he's obviously out of the jail, out of the courthouse. He's going to Northern California to spend some quality time with his parents with a nice old ankle bracelet. Not entirely sure how that's going to work out, but again, we'll have to wait and see. And Bideford, a good evening to you. Market was definitely unique today, and yeah, Tesla continues to crash down. And guys, we have talked about Tesla for a while. I thought that Tesla would eventually come down, but it's always the timing that I get off when it comes to stuff like this, because I think, back when I was making all these forecasts, I didn't foresee Elon actually buying Twitter. I thought he might go to more of a spit for spat thing. Maybe it would never happen, but he did buy Twitter. And as soon as we broke down below that 200 daily moving average, it's been bad. And the thing about Tesla is here, this is the monthly chart. We talked about this the other day. You can see how fast this thing has ripped up over the years. Well, there's not much support when you actually move up that fast. Ask Bitcoin, ask Dogecoin, ask Sheeb, ask Ethereum. Ask any of these assets that have really gone parabolic, and you see really fast how it's hard to keep up at those levels, especially during a bearish market. So we go back over here just to 2012, up to the highs, 23,000% increase in value. Absolutely astronomical. But let's just go over here to 2019. Or let's just go from COVID lows to the highs, 1,500%. If you made 1,500% and you bought the top, you're only down about 70. I know 70 seems like a lot, but compared to how much money you made, they're taking their profits because they're worried. And honestly, I can't blame them. Everybody wants cash right now to use for bonds that are going to pay like 4% interest rate. I'm like 4%. They're great bonds right now if you want to get into bonds. You know, you want to buy something that's very cheap, or you want to buy something you feel has a better future. You know, you're going to be moving the money out of Tesla, waiting for it to come back down. It'll boost up again. It will. But until then, it's fine to take your assets out of Tesla. I mean, heck, Elon Musk is taking his assets off of Tesla too. Go over here. Look at the bottom. Musk. Like $3 billion worth of stock was sold by him. Chief Financial Officer, like $1 million. SV Powertrain Energy. I don't know what that is, but 233,000. And Musk again. He was selling at $200. Then it was he sold a bunch at 160s. So 200s, then 160s. Now it's at 125. If he was to sell it right back over here at the 200s, let's see right around here. He would have lost about 36% on what he didn't sell. So you guys get what I'm saying. He's doing a smart thing. All the managers are, and so is everybody that's actually owns the assets here. You don't know how much further it's going to come back down, but it's going to be pretty bad here. The other thing we were talking about here is MU. If you guys played the the earnings, it looks like the earnings are pretty bad, but I know a couple of you guys played them. The hedge play that we were talking about. It looks like some of you guys made some money off of that, so congrats. We're back into that buying zone here. If you guys want to take it for a double bottom play, bottom, see if it can spike back up here. That's a little bit more iffy, to be honest. However, you might be able to get something back over here. But until then, you just have to be aware, because if we do break down here and Friday is bad, Tuesday is bad, Wednesday is bad, right? Monday's closed, market's closed on Monday. We could go back into that 40s range really fast. So just be careful with it, but I mean, it's a time to make your decision here if you guys want to buy it, especially if the market does want to continue to bounce here. I would say be more careful, because the NASDAQ did just break down, the SPY did just break down, and they're still kind of going through that phase. But if anything, if they can go sideways, certain picks can still, certain oversold picks can still have a pretty nice rebound here until the rebound is over. Then they start crashing again. All right. There we go. Let's go to the 15. And you can see Bitcoin's been, again, having those big moves here. This was one attempt to bring it down. There should be more. But until then, our main goal is just to close above 16,926. Just kind of go with 17,000 to make it easier. That's the level I want to close at right now in order to see Bitcoin have a really good day. Because, if we manage to close up here, then it's going to be a pretty easy thing for us to have a big boom above both the 20 and the 50-day moving averages, leading to us to have a really big day there. But we can't dump. I mean, whatever we do, we just can't dump. And today and tomorrow are going to be big attempts by bears to dump Bitcoin back down to at least $16,000. Okay, that'd be a loss of about 3.5%, 4.5% there. Okay, but on the other side, we could have a really parabolic boom here today. If anything, I'd probably say it's going to happen today, but I'm not the best at timing things like that. So I would probably say today or tomorrow, just to be safe. Especially with the market, could be doing a lot of stuff. Remember, the market had a really bad day yesterday. Today, we might even have a pump up reaction to it tomorrow. Not as much, but enough to get Bitcoin really popping and assets really popping on the crypto space. All right. There we go. And hey, I'm happy to see you back. What do you think about buying Gala since it's under 1 cent? If you want to buy Gala, I mean, go for it. Right now, I'm on a dollar cost average mentality. Buy a little bit here, buy a little bit there. I don't really buy much Gala, maybe one next year. For anything I'm more skeptical of like that, it tends to be more of next year where I'm kind of like, hey, I'll start buying around there. Guys, I don't really feel like I need to be throwing assets at most coins right now. Usually just the Bitcoins, the Ethereums, a little bit of Dogecoin right now. Maybe a little bit of ADA, but ADA has been crashing like a rock, so I'm going to wait a little bit on that one too. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm taking my time with a lot of these plays right now. And hey, Echo Pink, happy to see you back as well. And hey, Ken, why would the Bulls even try? They have the opportunity. They're trying to make money. At this point, there's going to be an increased level of volatility. They're going to have some fun with it, but there are people that have longs and there are people that have shorts. Right now, we're no longer towards those, as far as the stock market's concerned, we're not at those levels of resistance like we were just a few days ago, where I was like, guys, this is going to be hard. We got to watch, be careful here. Excuse me. So let me just get rid of all this stuff. When we're right there, what is this, like last week, we could be like, whoa, this is going to be a very bearish move here. unless we have a big breakout. But then we're looking at CPI data, Jerome Powell freaking out the market. It was, a lot of risk to be taken if you wanted to open up a trade in any position there. However, while I wouldn't say it's wise, I think that this is what you're going for, to try to buy and pump it up. Not wise at all. Sometimes the market acts irrational. And I've been pricing in or thinking more about how irrational the market has been. It's been frustrating to me. It's why I pretty much thrown my hands up as far as trying to do week-long swing trades. I was in a Twitter Spaces 2 to 3 weeks ago now, and I was talking with another trader that had come over just like me that traded options and stocks. He was much more formal about his background, though. So he used to work as a major investor out there. And we both had the same conclusion that we don't even want to swing trade anymore because the day trading is good enough. At this point, why would they want to buy? To try to freak out the market and burn the shorts and do some type of bear trap. Will it work? Remains to be seen. It really depends on if we have any good economic news tomorrow or maybe going into the new year, right? A lot of the big moves. Let's do this very fast. There. 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 There, okay. So these are the last weeks in the new year, basically. And I'll get rid of each one of these lines as we kind of go across it. Here's the NASDAQ right there. Not much happened. This is kind of towards the end of the bull run. Everything has kind of been going downhill since then, actually. But you can see we did go into the Christmas. We had a nice little rally. It didn't really amount to much because overall we were going sideways. But those last 2 weeks did have a nice sizable move. The last week, however, really didn't do much. Going over here, that last week of the year, it ended up coming back up just a little bit, part of an upward trend. And this was more of your traditional Christmas rally, especially going into last year, okay? Typical Christmas rally. This is something of what we want to see. We're not in that uptrend anymore, however. But you can see right here again, December 19 had a nice little rally, kind of building up, though. It wasn't like we just popped out of nowhere. We had been going up for a while. We found a little bit of a bottom here, the 18th to the 31st, kind of. So last week of the year as well, we kind of finished off with a nice trend. The last 2 weeks, actually, we had a nice little pop. A little bit further here, I think one more should do the trick. This one as well, we had a little bit of a reversal, I guess, yeah, right there towards the end of the year. Not much good happened that week. Maybe the next week we did. But, in a bull run, chances are we're looking pretty good finishing off the year. This time, it doesn't look as well. So I'd probably be siding with the bears here. But I want to see for Bitcoin, I want to see those bears trash everything down before I start buying. I mean, on the stock market, excuse me. Bitcoin's been a little bit more a little irrational, but not as irrational as the overall market. And one thing here as well, I mean, we've talked about this for months now, but let's get rid of that price action there. The 20-week moving average is about to cross down below the 200. The 50-week moving average is about to cross down below the 200 here as well. Unless we have a pretty sizable pop. And so far, it doesn't look like that's happening here. Remember, history says when we start breaking down below these 200 weekly moving averages, we get some bad events happening, right? Now, we've been very lucky, I have to say, that I think it's because of inflation, because of Jerome Powell and how everybody is perceiving inflation as the reason to buy or sell assets, risk on, risk off, probably something you've heard quite a bit about. Normally, without inflation, if we break down below this, we don't get back above it. We're just coming down and down and down and down. Okay, we made a little bit of a pop. Oh, this is weeks, I forget. But we just come down for months, okay? Over here, something happened. We just come down. At this point, that cross, boom, nasty move there, cross, nasty move there. I'm hoping because we're so focused on inflation, we won't have such a horrible, horrible drop, like a bubble popping drop. I'm hopeful that maybe we'll just have something more of a... It could be a pop maybe, but we're not going to be just 10% Dow down one day, 10% down the next, like this financial crisis where everything was just going like down in a hurry. Maybe if we're lucky, we may just have one boom there, a bounce, and another boom, and maybe something like this may be the bottom as soon as inflation starts to fix itself and stuff. The way I think about this, just to make it a little bit easier, this is the NASDAQ during the dot-com bubble, okay? Let me get rid of all this stuff here. We're kind of right here right now, just in my brain. If we have a soft landing, maybe we end up right here. If we have a recession, but the Fed pivots, maybe that's the bottom. If we have a recession and the Fed does not pivot, that's what could happen. Kind of like layering it down, like, oh, this is bad, but it's not like crazy bad. Oh, this is pretty messed up. I don't like it, but I guess I'll survive. This one's like, oh my gosh, I should have never dollar cost averaged. I should have just aimed for the bottom because Jerome Powell is freaking insane for keeping rates up this high. You're going to have different viewpoints and a lot of different emotions here about what happens over the next few months, especially as the economy continues to kind of get a little bit worse, a little bit worse, a little bit worse. But bulls do it just to try to swing the market and make a quick buck. They want to liquidate some shorts, and if I bet there's probably no, I'll probably look for it later. But I got to figure out how many shorts and longs are in the market right now because I expect there's probably more shorts out there. But they're going to be liquidated if we just have one nice pop, which if I was a bull, I would try to have happen sometime over the weekend until Sunday. If I was a bear, I would try to use today or tomorrow to create a really big move down. And the goal for the bear is not just to come down, but break down below these lows we have right there. And those lows are around 16,256 if you guys are going to be trading Bitcoin to Tether. But that's if I was a bear, I'd really want to just drop this thing down now or tomorrow. And if I went bull, today or tomorrow is going to be, or going into the weekend here, is going to be a really big move. Bulls aren't out of the race, in my opinion, until we break down below support right here. We could always come down and then just vault like that because the 50 is still coming down. The 20 might come down a little bit. That's what I'm waiting for here. It's really just going to mean you guys are going to have some alerts set on your charts because it's going to be hard to catch this move when it starts, which is why, you want to just be paying attention to the markets this week a little bit more than you guys might actually normally do, or you guys don't even have to trade the markets because they can be freaking volatile. Put in here. Hey, Merry Christmas, Max. Hey, Nico. Hey, Mattis. Hope you guys are all doing well. And hey, Moliv, how do you become a member? Is it through Discord? No, YouTube's kind of weird because some places members are. It's easier to find the membership button. But if you guys ever wanted to become a member, you just click on the video. Oh, wrong thing. Oh, actually, yeah. This both works. You see how it says join right here, this button? I think you guys can see. Yeah, join, and it'll pull it up right there. Or you can go to the main page, and there's a join button right there. I don't know how it works with phones because sometimes phones can be kind of finicky, but that's how you do it, at least from the desktop perspective. See. Hey, Tony, nonsense distraction, another super trial. If there is a Sam Bankman-Fried trial, I will cover it to the best of my abilities, probably doing live streams of the entire thing, almost like the Johnny Depp YouTubers did with them, except for I doubt the Sam Bankman-Fried trial would be as juicy as the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. That was absolutely insane. I was glued to that for hours and hours and hours a day. I literally did a little bit of trading, watched Johnny Depp trial, then streamed with you guys. That's literally what I did for a whole couple months. It was insane. And hey, Lois Squisher, as far as Sam Bankman-Fried and posting bail, it seems like a lot of it came with the help of his parents putting property down as collateral. They had to co-sign with him as well. So it looks like his parents are putting up a lot of their personal wealth as collateral for this type of thing. I don't know if Sam Bankman-Fried was able to get other sources of income. Who knows? We'll have to see. I'm pretty sure they'll talk about it eventually. But it was curious that he was able to get that money so fast. I don't know how he got it. We'll see. But he was able to get that money very, very quickly. See. And hey, Jim Bob. Yeah, hopefully you guys aren't experiencing too bad of a winter. How bad are your guys' winters right now? Let me know, because over here it's cold, but it's not really snowing. It might snow a little bit tonight, but it hasn't been terrible up here in the Northwest. Just, some snows every now and again, but nothing to really freak you out about. West Coast seems to be okay. The further you get out east, it just seems to be kind of crazy. Like here. Oh, I definitely misspelled weather. Yeah. Right here. It might snow today. It might snow tomorrow. Then we're just going to have rain, 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 right? Although it does said winter storm warning. I don't see any snow outside my window. I just let Loki out. Maybe a little bit of dusting from a couple days ago, but I don't see much out here. Although when at least I used to live in Bozeman, Montana for college. That's negative 26 right now, and they'd still make you go to school if it wasn't winter break. But you can see it's supposed to warm up here as well, Saturday for them. So we should warm up a little bit as a country, hopefully. But it does seem pretty wild, especially with how much more energy we're going to be needing. Oil stocks have been all over the place these past few days. It's just been way too much for an average guy out there. See. And hey, little Cole, happy to see you back. Happy holidays. Did not get a notification. Guys, I don't know anymore. I don't expect YouTube to notify you guys. At best, I expect that when I pop up on YouTube, or when you guys pop up on YouTube like this, one of my streams will be there. Now, I see it right here, so maybe it doesn't show me the same way, but I expect it to maybe pop up for you guys, and maybe that's how most of you guys find it. But sometimes it gives notifications, sometimes it doesn't. YouTube, I think, just puts crypto in its own category, and because of that, it can really... They want you to watch every one of my episodes in order to keep getting notified. I don't know why that is, because I know people have lives. You guys can't just, watch a crypto streamer or a market streamer every single day. Makes no sense. But YouTube feels like if you guys aren't watching every single day, oh, this guy's not interested. Maybe he'll be interested in, I don't know, Matt Wallace, some of the people that you guys watch. Whatever you guys watch, it may think that's more interesting. And it may be sometimes, right? Sometimes the market is very boring. Sometimes the market's more interesting like it is today. We kind of live through that, today's market action. But at this point, I don't know how to fix it. I'm not even going to try. What I'm doing lately is building up different videos, working on that long tutorial for you guys. And I've been using ChatGPT to help me figure out video ideas. So tomorrow, let's see if I can pull this up here. Yeah. Tomorrow I have this video coming out, a simple video on like how to start budgeting, especially because next year is going to be really shitty, just to kind of get you on the right track. It's not going to be incredibly detailed or anything like that, but it's a quick, easy video like, hey, how to start budgeting, easy peasy, master your money, a beginner's guide to creating a budget in 2023. Even though it's not 2023 yet, it's getting there, it's getting close. But that's what I've been working on over the past few days because usually that works out. I might just be publishing too many videos, but we'll see. See. And hey, letters, what's your take on this AMC ape thing? Another reason why I won't go long on AMC. I better just open up an article here. Let's go to AMC. You can see it's down 7% today. At one point, it was down a lot more, it looks like. Short interest is at 19%. I bet some of those shorts took profits today. Wall Street Journal, no. There we go. So AMC shares sink after a reverse stock split. Let me just get rid of that. There we go. So it says AMC sinks 7% to close at $4.91 per share on Thursday after the country's biggest cinema operator proposed a reverse stock split and a conversion of its ape preferred equity into AMC shares. The stock was halted for volatility early on during Thursday's session as it sank as much as 17%. Whenever I hear about stock splits like this, I've talked to you guys about these before. This is something that is very bad for a stock to go through. It's not good. And usually what it means is they're going to be making a profit off of this, and they may actually dump part of their shares off onto the public. And if they add more shares into the marketplace, even with the split going on as well, you normally see just more supply, same demand, lowers the value, the price continues to go down. We only normally talk about this when it comes to shitty penny stocks. That's when we talk about stuff like this, which is surprising because normally the reason this actually occurs is this. All stocks, assets out there have to be above $1 or they get a warning. If after that warning they are not above $1, they get delisted, and then they go on to what's called the over-the-counter exchange. Okay, this means that you can't buy them, as easily as an Apple, a Microsoft, or some of the smaller market cap stocks that are above $1. It gets very hard to buy them. The market cap usually drops quite a bit. So what they do is they say, whoa, okay, well, if I have my asset right now is at 50 cents and I need to get it over to $1, well, I'll do a 20 or a 10-to-1 stock reverse stock split. So that means for every 10 shares basically turns into 1 share. And that means, all my capital, less of a supply, the value goes up. And then, of course, people can sell and sell again until it goes underneath the dollar again. That's normally what happens. But it's just not a really good sign. It's not a good sign at all. So, it freaks me out a little bit. I'm not long on this at all, so I don't really care about AMC or, all that stuff going on. But usually, after the event happens, there's usually a nice rally. So if you want to buy AMC, Ape, whatever, like right after the split happens, you might see a pop within a week of that happening and a really big sizable move, because that's usually when shorts get squeezed out of their positions as well. So short squeeze usually follows those type of big events. Usually the type of events that cause this are those types of stocks who are heavily shorted, bad management, yada, yada, yada. So it's not a good sign at all. You may be able to make money, though, post-split if you buy like a day or two afterwards. A little bit of money of an investment. I probably wouldn't add a lot there, but I would say your probably best bet is to just do a YOLO play on options, make it really far to the money so you're only spending a few pennies, and then see if it kind of pops up or not. Don't buy the options though before the split. That might be a little bit confusing, especially if the split happens. The options may not have time to adjust, and you may just not make money. You just might get your money back. 78 degrees in South Florida, going into the 40s Saturday. Ooh, that's going to be cold right there, Tony. Trying to raise capital to pay off debt, but I thought that's why they did the preferred equity. We'll see. We have to see what they actually propose as far as the vote. And then once the paperwork comes out for the vote, then we'll have an idea of exactly what they're asking permission to do. But yeah, it's just not going to be a good sign there. Let's see. And hey, the Real Transporter, happy to see you back, my man. You're not considering that before the split. APE is to be converted back to AMC. Let's see. I still would not buy it, but it'd be interesting. I mean, if you guys like the risky side of things, it's going to be a fun thing to play with. But I don't mess with stuff that has to go through splits. I'm an Apple guy. I like trading Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, which is very wild, Tesla, which is very wild right now. I like trading that stuff over the GameStops and stuff. GameStop can be fun. Don't get me wrong. Like here, actually, let's just go to AMC very fast because that was a crazy day. Pre-market dump. You could have had some fun day trading that, but definitely can be a little bit of a crazy time. But you might be able to find some type of small breakdown like that. I don't know how I'd feel about that, honestly. Maybe something like this, or did that even hold up or not? Oh, that's not too good. Yeah, this one would not have been that much fun. But yeah, it's definitely not something I'd want to play around with. It seems like they're still losing a bunch of money. Yeah, negative 820 million. They're still losing a lot of money. The market cap is still 2.6 billion though, so they might have something going on for them. Probably because of how many assets they own, honestly. You got a lot of theaters, a lot. And the theaters are pretty nice. I like AMC theaters. Haven't been there in like a year, actually since COVID, but I like them. Well, Matt Wallace deleted his YouTube channel if Dogecoin doesn't reach $1 next week. I doubt it. Matt's trying to do everything he can to keep his views pumped up. I see him a lot on Twitter responding to Elon Musk and stuff like that. Social Blade. Final. Oh, his views are going down a little bit. Yeah, because Dogecoin is not popping off like it was a few weeks ago, but that's about it. But yeah, he hasn't even made any subscribers for the last 30 days, so he's not really doing very well right now. See, views have just been going down. he's looking for some way to stay relevant, and a good way for him to be relevant is to talk to Elon Musk, Dogecoin, stuff like that. Who knows? But apparently he's lost half his viewers in the last 30 days. So, where he probably had like 300,000 views last month, this month, or these last 30 days, he's only like getting half of that, basically. But I've been looking at, let's see, Tom's one of my friends. We have a competition right now. BitBoy Crypto. This guy right here as well. He's been doing a lot more stuff here. His views have been going up. He's catching on, just like I am, just like a lot of other crypto guys are, to all this FTX stuff. Sam Bankman-Fried, he's going for it. On Twitter, he's getting a lot of new followers as well because him and Kevin O'Leary going spit for spat. And both of them, as much as I don't like Kevin, as much as I don't like BitBoy, I beat both of them. I shake both their hands. But, besides that, like the respect I have for them is not very high, I guess you would say. But I'd respect him enough to beat him, right? They're both just going at it to get more followers. It's all entertainment at this point. And you can see how their followers are going up ever since they started talking about this type of stuff and going back and forth. And let's see right here. And hey, Nomad, happy holidays, man. Let's see. And hey, Nomad Trader, I don't know what it is. I'll try to figure out another way for you guys to subscribe if you guys want to. I have been trying to do a few more membership videos. I did an update video today. But, well, I guess, yeah, I'll be doing, oh, wait, no, Sunday's Christmas, isn't it, I think? I'll do a video for you guys Monday. So instead of doing a members stream on Christmas, we'll do one Monday right afterwards because the market's closed, and then we'll talk about what could happen for Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and all that good stuff there. And hey, Trey, anyone watch Chris that had the Upshot coin? Yeah, he had to change his channel name because his channel got banned. I think then I think he had to do another one. If I go over to my YouTube channel very fast, analytics, audience. If you go over here, you guys can see who you guys watch besides my stuff. So go over here. Chris, right here. Jordan Cameron, Crypto Signal Masters, Tame the Arc, Zach Humphreys. But you guys watch Chris right here. This is his channel. I don't recommend him. I think he's a scammer personally. But, he still posts Dogecoin videos all the time. All the time now. So Dogecoin, Elon, Dogecoin, the Fed, Dogecoin. So he's still primarily a Dogecoin guy here. But we'll have to see what happens to his channel. But he only has he used to have like 80,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, or something like that. But he scammed a lot of people. Over the last few days, a lot of you guys, I mean, most of my views come from like the 24/7 stream here, or most of the data it gives me for you guys. But it even tells me what time you guys are live. Most of you guys don't watch YouTube on Mondays, but a lot of you guys watch it on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Mostly in the morning times here. All right. I know a lot of stuff about the subscribers here. I got 410 subscribers in the last 28 days. I'm pretty proud of that. But I need more. Which is why I'm making more videos, which is being pretty fun. Oh, hold on. I need to... There we go. All right. Let's see. And hey, Ilias, why are you ignoring messages about Trust Wallet? Is something going on with Trust Wallet that I don't know about? Let me know if you have a question about it, but I don't use Trust Wallet. I have a MetaMask wallet and I have a Nano Ledger right now. But if you have a question about it, I can try. Hopefully they're doing okay. I'd hate to see a wallet go down like that. Or if anything is going down with it. And hey, Guns Loaded, Ben is very proud of himself. I think most people in this space are pretty proud of themselves. They have the persona so they can get on stage and tell everybody what they know or give their thoughts on stuff. Like I've been asked only twice, because I'm not really in that world of influencers, so to speak, to go on stage and speak about stuff. But I don't really have an expertise in the blockchain or what they're talking about. As my main goal is I'm a very dry guy. I give them an educational, a mini educational topic. Say, hey, this is how you guys can do something great with your assets. Here's how you can make some more money. No stage topic is ever like that. Like, hey, here are some things you guys should know when trading the markets, especially in the bull run, the bear runs, how to manage your money, how to slow down some of that risk there, some signs that we look for to say, hey, maybe I should start scaling out now. That's not an interesting topic. That's not what really needs to be talked about in this, or that's talked about on stages. Normally, it's how technology is going to change the world, some grand design type of thing, right? Now, that's kind of cool. It's more entertaining, but I mean, unless you're actually part of that grand design, it's not going to really make you money. Holding assets, choosing what's right, what's wrong, or what to hold, what not to hold, that's what really makes you money. There are plenty of people who liked crypto in 2020, 2021 who didn't buy, that made no money, but they're like, oh, I love crypto. It's going to be awesome. You know, well, cool. It is going to be awesome, but you're not going to be gaining any wealth off of it, right? So it's that type of stuff that I try to talk about. Does ChatGPT have any uses for TA? No, nothing like that. I may have an opportunity. I may test that out. Maybe I was like explain technical analysis or something like that, and it might tell it that. But I'm like, here, hold on. Explain what a top pattern is for a new investor. Maybe. There you go. A double top pattern is a bearish reversal chart pattern that occurs when the price of an asset reaches a high point, pulls back, and then reaches the same high point again before falling. This pattern is formed by two consecutive peaks at approximately the same price level with a trough in between. Right? So it's pretty good. I would probably have to add some type of picture in there or something like that. But it seems it's useful. So yeah, I mean, if you wanted to ask something like that, or why do people lose money trading? There are many reasons. Lack of knowledge, understanding. Trading requires a good understanding of financial markets. I can make a video using this stuff. That's what I like it for. It can help me come up with an idea for a video. Over leveraging. Tell that to Sam and his girlfriend. Emotional trading, right? All types of stuff. Poor risk management. Market conditions. Yeah. So yeah, it works for that type of stuff too. Yeah, it's definitely worth it just to play around with. I even like how to invest for beginners. I asked it to make a script for me. So how to invest for beginners. Nice little script about how you guys can start investing for beginners. Now I'm probably not going to make a video off of that anytime soon, but I may starting next year. But it's been giving me ideas about how to talk to you guys, how to do that. Because with my ADHD, when I do this stuff, you guys don't have ADHD, and it's not like it's a bad type, so it's not bad, but it takes a lot for me to do stuff on the day to day. I have to force myself to go and do something, to clean, to do my laundry. It's not like I just do it. I literally have to like everything in my power just to go start the process of doing that. Once I start the process easily, but just to start the process, it's really hard for me to do. So when I try to read scripts like this, I can't just read this entire script going, like maybe this section, all in one, and then I come back and I take a break, come do the second ones. I have to do step one, determine your financial goals. I have to read this. And if I mess up, my brain doesn't allow me to say, let's do this. Before you start investing, it's important that you figure out what you're trying to accomplish. Do you want to save for retirement? Do you want to create a financial cushion for unexpected losses or expenses? And just that little hesitation right there, my brain wouldn't allow me to just read this again. Do you want to create a financial cushion for unexpected expenses? It would be a computer just breaking down. Because once I make a mistake, I have to reset before I can go again. So I go from, I read this, pause. I read this. If I make a mistake during this, I start over from here. But if I make a mistake right here, I have to restart from the entire place. I can't restart from the sentence over here. My brain won't allow me to do it. So when I have assistants like this to help me write a script and stuff like this, and usually I change this up a little bit more so it has a little more, a few more terms in it, so to speak. But it's nice to have that tool there. Let me just tell you, it's nice to have that tool. Dude. And it hit $2.60 after all-time high, and now it seems to fall back to 150, 160 levels. I'm a bit worried if it's just a correction or Binance might actually drag it down. Thanks, bro. I mean, mostly every crypto asset is going to fall to lower than what it is now over the next 4 or 5 months. The market suggests that we're probably headed for a recession. The fact that Jerome Powell keeps on saying he's not going to be he's not going to be cutting interest rates is making a lot of people think that, hey, whoa, this isn't going to be as good as we thought. Up till a few weeks ago when Jerome Powell did, CPI, interest rate hikes, stuff like that, everybody was pricing in that the market would get bad next year, maybe a little bit worse. The economy would go down a little bit. But at the end of the day, Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, would blink and they would end up cutting rates before inflation hit 2%. 2% has been Jerome Powell's goal for such a long time now, for months and months and months, almost a year, okay? Unfortunately, we waited a little bit longer, not as long as other countries, but we did wait a little bit longer because we were playing politics, transitory inflation. We all remember how crazy that was. And because of that, we're a little bit behind the curve. People haven't priced in just yet that, hey, we could be in a recession, and even though the economy is going to be suffering, normally the mechanism for that is to lower interest rates. Well, what happens if we don't lower interest rates? It's going to make it much harder for us to get growth. Growth drives the markets. When we have a lack of growth, the markets stutter for a while. If we go back over here to the financial crises and all that good stuff, I guess we already got everything here. Let's just go to the NASDAQ. Yeah. Let's hide that. There you go. 2008, remember? We had our crisis. Everything was bad. Barack Obama comes in, right? Over here, 2009, 2010, And what happened? His policies didn't really work, unfortunately for all of us, right? They sounded good at the time. We were hoping that they'd really cause a good little churn there. But however, the system figured its way out a little bit, right? We had a little bit of pop here, but what happened? We really weren't doing too hot from a growth perspective those years. Just kind of making up the losses over here. We were dealing with a really bad financial crisis that was not caused by Barack Obama. That was more of a Bush thing and a Clinton thing that they kind of started up that whole mess. But I guess you could just call Wall Street thing because Wall Street's greedy as well. But you can see after a while, the market kind of figured itself out, and then it started to get back up here. But it really didn't start until January of 2012, or maybe over here 2013, and that's when we finally started to see some growth pick up. And then we were doing okay. 2015 again, we had a slump. Trump came into office, and then Republicans opened up the coffer, so to speak. Let's cut interest rates a little bit. Let's get this economy roaring, and they got the economy roaring, right? COVID hit, and that kind of screwed up everything for everybody. So we have our ways to play this, but at the end of the day, our mechanism has always been to cut interest rates. We can't do that this time. We just can't, because Jerome Powell wants to keep inflation at 2%, or he wants to reach the target of 2% inflation. So go over here, over here. And most of Bush's term, as you know, this wasn't too hot either. This was all trying to get money back, get us back into like an okay level. I would say though, Bush, Obama, they started the process of printing a lot of money. Trump exacerbated it because of COVID and just spending on the military, the border, stuff like that. And then Biden, of course, just threw it into complete overdrive, especially with they just signed the omnibus bill today. Omnibus bill today. My gosh, that's going to cause chaos down the road, but not anytime soon. Give it a couple more years. But I mean, we just can't stop spending. The only way we stop spending is if we can't pay our debts and we go into like a huge default, and that forces the government to shrink. That forces the expenses to come down. But all these programs that we've caused people to be reliant on, like healthcare, Social Security, stuff like that, they're relying on that for their day-to-day living. or not healthcare so much, but once a healthcare bill comes, that could affect your day-to-day living. If people lose that, then it becomes a much more difficult environment for everybody out there. So, I don't know how this is going to end. I would probably blame everybody in Congress for this, not one party primarily, because everybody's at fault here. But as we go down here, you'll see that, I think this is the one right here. Let's go over here, perhaps. You'll see in 2000, what did we do? When the market was going down, we cut rates. 2008 financial crisis, we cut rates, right? Trump came into office, raising rates, just preparing ourselves a little bit more. COVID hit, we lowered rates. Now we're causing rates to go back up. But we can't just drop them like last time when the economy gets bad. And I don't know the last time this has happened. I think it's happened before a lot of us were born. So because of that, we're in for a show. And that show is going to be bad at times and good at times, but probably pretty bad for 2023. But the good thing is, at least from my personal opinion, we should reach the market bottom in 2023 sometime in Q2, end of Q1, probably Q2. Maybe at worst, if we have like a big recession, maybe in end of Q2, maybe somewhere in the Q3. Somewhere in that range, but I think somewhere in Q2 is the most realistic, give or take a few weeks outside of those quarters. And hey, Brandon, I just used Caroline's investment strategies. Oh, man, that'd be something to watch right there. Hey, Rose Scratcher, is it time to buy crypto right now in the bear market? The same people buying crypto in the bear market 2018, 2019, same people making tons of money when they sold at peak last year? Yeah, but that's dollar cost averaging. Right now, it's hard to just say, hey, we've hit the bottom, it's time to buy, yada, yada, yada. What I do is I'm just like, hey, guys, I think we're going to hit the bottom of the market here based on all this economic data, based on what the charts are telling us and all that good stuff. But I'm dollar cost averaging, so I have a position for the next bull market. I just don't feel like I need to be buying a whole bunch of assets right now for long-term positions. Because for me, I personally feel that the market will go down even more next year, so I will have more funds available to buy even more crypto. Why would I spend $10,000 on maybe I can only afford half a Bitcoin or something? Not really, but you know what I mean. When I could afford a whole Bitcoin with $10,000 next year. You know what I mean? That's how I think about it. But dollar cost averaging, I just buy a little bit, and every once in a while when you have a big move down, I buy a little bit more in bulk. A little bit more in bulk, keep it moving. But yeah, definitely no time to be buying for long-term positions. Definitely. And look at Bitcoin here. Let's go over here. Okay. Here's Bitcoin. Here's fib retracements to the lows in 2015 to the highs of 2021. I hope we can hold this so bad. I really don't want to break down below this. We really like here. Let me do a couple more for you guys just so you guys can see it. There we go. Make this one nice and easy. We really only have like another pit stop here, maybe at 14,500, which is where one of those orange levels are from the fib levels for the GAN boxes. We have a support level right there. But after that, we're heading back down to $11,500, $10,000. Who knows what happens there? Maybe a recession may bring us down to $7,000, $6,000 if it gets a really bad recession. Otherwise, if we're lucky, we may only fall down to like $12,000, $14,000 if we're lucky here. It really is determinative on how bad the U.S. economy gets. Because there's other support levels out there, but I mean, you got to go pretty far. Like these are the levels from the lows of 2011. That support level is all the way down here at 5,900 levels. Go down a little bit lower if you wanted to, way down here. That support level is all the way down here to 1,700. I don't think we're going down to 1,700, but you guys get my point there. But every once in a while, it doesn't hurt to take that macro level view at Bitcoin, because you could always have some fun with it. Like, I don't know, Fibonacci extension here. What happens if we do this? Here and here, right? See a little bit of resistance right there, but it doesn't really do much here for me. I don't think it does much. Maybe if we move this over here to fib levels base there. No, not much for me. Not much. So, I'd probably move over to something more recent when more people are actively trading, so the technicals are more technical, so to speak. More relevant, I should say. Stuff like this, you can go from the lows here to lows there. Then you zoom in, you're like, okay, broke out, hit some resistance there, hit some resistance there, some resistance here, maybe a little bit up there. You could play around with it quite a bit. I guess I'd have to drag that down a little bit more, but it's always worth taking a little bit more of a macro level view. Hopefully, at the end of the day, we just don't break down below that. If anything, just don't break down below that. And then we find a way to break out of this first. Dump, retest, start moving our way back up to maybe the $30,000 range. Go sideways for a while, late 2023, 2024, then all of a sudden, big boom. Where maybe the next cycle we hit somewhere around $90,000 if we're lucky, a couple $100,000. If we're really lucky, a couple $100,000. More around $90,000 probably for me. But that's the type of stuff I'm hoping for. Because I don't think, with all this regulation that's coming, I don't know how easy it's going to be for Bitcoin to have these big dumps like that, like this that we're currently in, or like all the way back over here. I don't think it's going to be as easy because there's going to be a lot more institutional money in it, and institutional money does not like to lose money like that, so to speak. Maybe we have a cycle where we have one more dump, and that's caused by hedge funds just dumping everything on investors. But, at the same time, you guys would have been able to buy in around now and stuff like that and make a good pretty penny during the next all-time highs. Yeah, no worries, Letter. Real feel is like negative 33 here in Minnesota. Oh my gosh, that is way, way too cold. Way, way too cold. Let's see. Oh, you guys are in much worse weather than I am. I am perfectly fine in the 20s over here. over here. I'm not looking for any chaos right now. I just want to stay warm. Loki was snuggled up to me last night on the bed because I turned off my heater last night, so it did get a little bit chilly, but he was fine with it. Loki loves the cold. He has a best friend a couple blocks down that's a beautiful husky. And he likes playing with it a lot. Except for that husky is not trained at all. I pained myself to teach Loki how to sit, how to respond. Like, if I call him, he comes. Like, if he's bustling down the street to go say hi to another dog, and I just don't see him doing it, he'll do it. But if I call him, he'll turn around and come back, and then we'll walk over there together. But other dogs, his neighbors, he just bolts, and he does not respond to the owner at all. And I'm like, oh, dude, I can never do that with Loki. Because, I'm fat. I can't just go chasing after Loki. I have to get him to just come to me. Plus, I'm the boss, right? He's looking at me right now and says, sure, you're the boss. Let's see. And hey, a little Miss Crypto Karma. I'm in Minnesota too. Fun stuff here. I've heard you guys have a much different winter. You guys have like winter, but you're like your wind chill or the real temperatures always feel super, super cold because you guys have like a slight amount of humidity or something that just gets you bone chilling cold is what I've been told by my friends out in Minnesota. Bone chilling cold. Bone chilling cold. There we go. But right now, like, I'm looking at the markets, everybody, and not much is up. Maybe Solana's up a little bit. It's trying to do some type of triple bottom effect here and have a little bit of a bounce. You may see Solana try to break out here pretty soon if you're lucky. Otherwise, it's just going to continue this downtrend like that. Oh, and it hasn't broken out of it yet, but Solana could actually have a pretty big move here today. All we need is the stock market to have a little bit of a rebound day, and you could see the market actually get a nice move here. Because you see on the weekly chart, man, we're in trouble on the weekly chart. This almost looks like Tesla at this point. Matic is trying very, very hard not to break down on the weekly chart. On the daily chart, it looks like it's already actually broken down here multiple times. Doesn't look like it's trying to do much, though. It's holding up against these support levels. So it looks like this whole weekend actually is just going to be about holding these support levels for all these different assets. If we get one bad move, it's going to be over for about a week or two. Then we're going to have to pick ourselves up by the bootstraps and have another big rally. But, that's the type of play I'd be looking at here. Because each one of these little breakdowns here have been really nice for short-term gains. If you guys like to buy puts and stuff. Whatever happened to the XRP settlement big blockbuster news? I don't know whatever happened to it, but the stock or the asset did not react good to it. Death crosses again for the XRP, not a good move at all. Bitcoin Cash also coming down here. There have just been like Engine Coin also coming down. Litecoin is probably doing okay, but look at the monthly chart. Overall, Litecoin is just back into that range it's always been in. I think Litecoin is the safe haven for a lot of investors out there. The Litecoin could still go down even more, don't get me wrong. However, it feels like Litecoin won't make any all-time lows, or it won't break down below like 20 bucks or something. Litecoin just seems to be a stable place where people are putting the money while they wait for the market to turn around, and as soon as it's over, they'll put all that Litecoin into Bitcoin and stuff like that. Because one of the nice things is, at least for taxes yet, I don't think they've really worked out how people are swapping Litecoin for Bitcoin, or Litecoin for this, or Bitcoin to that. Most of the time, it's just like, hey, you're spending cash, you're buying this crypto with cash, you're buying this crypto with stable coins, and they're not looking at the swapping so much, because that can get really crazy there when they have to really calculate. That's the word. How all that stuff is working. Especially if you swap to something else, then something else, then something else before you go. Monday is going to be back into the 30s. That'd be nice. Here it's going to get back to the 40s or 50s, I think. This sucks. I just want to ride my snowmobile. It's too cold out. Last time I rode a snowmobile, I crashed, flew off of a cliff, and gave myself a bad concussion. My concussion was so bad, I went to go work at the bowling alley, and every like 5 seconds, I was just looking at the phone ringing, looking for the phone, because I thought it was ringing when it really wasn't. So I was looking at the bartender. I was like, "Is the phone ringing?" And then when the phone actually rang, I didn't think I tricked myself into thinking it wasn't ringing. And then the bartender was like, "Michael, the phone's ringing," and I was like, "Oh shit, sorry." But the last time I went snowboarding, here, hold on. Did not spell Bozeman right. That's okay. Last time I went snowmobiling and I got in an accident, it was outside Bozeman, up here in Livingston Peak. There's a road that goes over here. I don't know if the road has camera to it or not. It was somewhere up here. Beautiful, beautiful country, though. If it's not going to be blurry. People are hiking up here. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. So I wasn't up this high with snowmobiling, but like up in the hills up here, over there. No, because I usually shoot stuff in that clearing over there. But yeah, basically I flew off of a cliff because I got caught in ice, and it just ended up really bad. But I did not break the snowmobile. My friend broke it the following week by making a jump, and it just went. He flew. He fell off of it. He hit his head. He didn't get a concussion, but he hurt his like arm or something. And then it kept on going and crashed into a tree. I just went ragdoll. If you guys don't know, if you guys are ever in an accident and you guys know you're about to be in an accident, like that split-second decision before you're like, oh my god. I read, and I think a long time ago, I went to driver's ed like most of you guys, and I assume they teach you that drunk drivers usually survive accidents and other people don't survive accidents because being drunk makes your body more limp. So at that split second where I flew off the snowmobile going like 55 miles an hour or something like that, I went ragdoll. And I ended up crashing in a nice soft snow, a couple bushes and stuff, got a couple scrapes and stuff like that, hit my head on the ground, obviously. But I went ragdoll, so I just felt sore. No broken bones, but like just really sore, a lot of bruises all over the place, and I guess, yeah, concussion. But ragdoll it. If there's ever anything I tell my friends or my family when they go off and do their stupid adventures, like snowmobiling, which is not stupid, but I think it is now because I suck at it. What do you call? Just go ragdoll. If you're in a car crash and you see the car coming, ragdoll. All that type of stuff, it just works better, apparently. See, Halos. Oh, I got to go to the mountains for it. You go here to Livingston, or you go here to Big Sky Country. Big Sky's really nice, but you have to plan. You have to plan to go to somebody's ranch afterwards because it can be just a pain to get up there. At day of snowmobiling, you don't want to actually drive all the way back to Bozeman. Normally, you're just going to take the highway up here or the highway up here, pass by a bunch of semis that have crashed on the side of the road. Make sure they're okay. Like happens every single time a semi crashes out here in Big Sky. And then you're just going to find a ranch. There's a town and stuff out here. It's not like it's like nothing's out here. And then what you do is you just, usually it's like over here because it's like the public area. You find somebody at the ranch and say, hey, can I crash at your place? It's a friend usually, not like just some random person. And you're pretty good. But, I used to go to Big Sky. Freaking terrifying here. Freaking terrifying, I tell you what. But I've never been over anything over a blue. So I refuse to do anything. I got bad knees, football, bad ankles. And hey, Tony, what's right there? BNB. Oh, and then Brandon, we'll look at Dogecoin here in a second. How much will it fall if it falls down below 208? Excuse me. Yeah, 208. Let's just make this easy. Let's go to the monthly chart. It can fall a lot. It can fall a lot. So 180 is right there, okay? That'd be your next pit stop if you ask me. On top of that, let's go over here. See, that's 219, 209 right there from the support we had back over here in May of 2021. I would say our next support is going to be somewhere around that 50-month moving average there and around 180, whichever one comes first. That'd be kind of bad. If we go over here to the weekly chart, bounce this off a little bit more. Let's get rid of that stuff. Remember those numbers. Excuse me. So this worked once here. It did not work here, and it's working right now. We don't know if this is going to hold up again. I would say if this doesn't hold up, because we're most likely going to break down below the 200 weekly moving averages, we'll most likely find our way coming back down to $115, which would be a massive drop in BNB price. Remember Tesla? How it boomed up so fast, now it's crashing down very hard. That's what happens to most crypto assets, and this has not fallen down enough like other assets have. So from highs to where we are now, it's fallen down about 63%. Probably about average, light average, I would say, because there's definitely more coins in the 70 to 80% range right now. However, this is an exchange token. It has a lot of value, so to speak, right? But it can definitely come back down to 110. I'd probably say we need to have a pit stop around 180 to 200. Buy around there, get a little bit of reversal, then it should tank a couple weeks later, probably back to the low 100s or so, mid to low 100s. And then that's what I'd expect it to do. I don't know if it'll come down to like $40 again or anything like that. I don't think so, unless it really has a big flush and people are like really freaking out about Bitcoin's future. Not Bitcoin's future, excuse me, Binance's future. Probably both at the same time, right? But until then, I think it'll be fine. As far as Dogecoin, yes, it is creating a type of flag right now. The thing about it right now is, we got to find another bottom here, basically. So we just broke down here. We need to just manage to hold the 7 cent level if we can, and then perhaps we can have a big boom here going into the new year. The only thing really keeping Dogecoin good right now, I would believe, is Elon Musk. Without Elon Musk, we would probably be down around like a nickel, like 3.5 cents or so. Let's hope it doesn't get any worse than this right now. But yeah, we could definitely have a breakout here. I just want to see a golden cross. This is the weekly chart. I just want to see the golden cross pop up like that. We're at the low end of that triangle. So if you wanted to buy at that level of support, now would be a good opportunity, especially with all these new Dogecoin announcements coming out. Elon Musk doing his announcement here pretty soon. That could give you a big boost, maybe back up to 15, 16 cents. Short term, though, if you're just looking at a resistance point of view, 9 cents. So about a penny and a half, maybe more. If it breaks out off of that information, then you could probably expect 11 cents, 15 cents, something really good out of it. But that's going to be a really big if, because Dogecoin the news has to be good. It has to be going up. Everything has to be going up. Bitcoin has to be very, very strong. If Bitcoin's not acting very strong, Dogecoin will freak out and it'll fall the way of Bitcoin. It's natural that it'll do that. But you need to have Bitcoin doing a very good job as well to keep Dogecoin moving up. And you need Dogecoin to hold above the 20-week moving average. This thing's pretty sturdy. We've been holding it for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9 weeks or so, a little over 2 months. We need to hold that sucker. Because on the daily charts here, we're looking like we want to come down. We need to bounce off of some type of triple bottom here and just launch it. That launch is going to keep the 20 above, the 50 above, and slowly start moving the 200 up. But that means no death crosses will occur, which will be a very, very good thing. Especially as we look at Bitcoin, right? Where Bitcoin on the daily chart, we're looking for a golden cross here, which is good news if you guys wanted to buy assets. What needs to happen, though, today or tomorrow, we have to have a really robust upward move as far as Bitcoin's concerned. It doesn't even have to be robust. It just has to get us back above the 50-day moving average, causing the golden cross that will bring Bitcoin back up to 17,500 to 19,000. And then from there, we're probably going to get a pullback again, unfortunately. However, you can still make money if you were to buy around now and then sell a few days later. The bet you're making to make money is that we're going to have a pretty nice pop, though, above the 20-day moving average and the 50. That's what you're hoping for if you're making that bet right now. And you're probably having a stop loss on Bitcoin around 16,250 in order to protect yourself. But still, the loss here is about 3% you're risking. And the profit you're hoping for is somewhere around like 10%. That's what you're hoping for if you're buying Bitcoin right now. If you're buying Dogecoin right now, you're probably betting... You're risking about 8% for the opportunity to make 45%. And if you're really lucky, an opportunity to make 100%. So that's what you're risking. The risk reward is there, but man, you got to be in it. You got to have a stop loss. You have to remember you have a stop loss in case you have an exchange that doesn't really have stop losses up there. And you have to make sure you're just aware of what the market's going through right now. And hey, I'm happy to see you. Don't be surprised if Sam Bankman-Fried goes magically missing from his parents' house. I'm hoping that his ankle bracelet is good enough, but I really don't know. I'm not an expert in this type of law stuff. The most I see of an ankle bracelet is what I hear from TV shows and stuff like that. But I have a buddy that lives in Whitefish, Montana. Went out there a couple years ago. Whitefish is beautiful. I mean, there's a lot of parts of Montana that are beautiful. I just avoid Billings. That's the only place I really avoid is Billings. I don't really like the cities of Montana. They're fine, but Montana, you go there for the nature stuff, not necessarily to go live in the city. I once thought about buying a ranch, like of 20, 30 acres out there, and just chilling. But the Wi-Fi sucked too much for me to do that. But I've been trying, as you guys know with Nicaragua, I've been trying to get away from civilization for a while now. But money always seems to be where civilization is at, right? That's where commerce thrives. And hey, Ram, weather out here is perfectly fine. Nothing too bad. That's Bozeman weather. Weather Tacoma, 25 degrees. Maybe snow. I don't think I see any snow outside. Let me check. Okay, it's so black outside, I literally can't see anything. I don't have lights out there. They have you had to walk in front of them in order to turn them on. But it's fine. It's 25 degrees. I'm not complaining. I've read people's accounts of being closed without notice on Binance. I haven't heard of anything like that. But if it's true, then you'll probably see something like that spread like a wildfire over the next few days. I doubt it's true personally, but that's just because I've been hearing a lot of FUD about Binance and it's still holding up strong just fine. If they're going after accounts, it might be the FBI or something saying, hey, we suspect bad, this money is part of a human trafficking ring or something like that, yada, yada, yada. But if there is something really bad, it'll come out really, really fast. Just in case, always protect yourself. Make sure you guys have your assets in a hard wallet or a cold wallet. Unless you guys are day traders like me, I like to pump my money in there and let it sit. The more you guys can feel when there's a FUD event going on because everybody's talking about Binance or KuCoin or something like that, and they try to get it to come down. Right? During those events, I take precautionary measures to just move all of my assets off the exchange, and I wait for the FUD to die down, and then I put those assets back on the exchange. I can move them over to BitGet, I can move over to BingX, I can move them over to KuCoin from Binance, right? And then once the freak out is over, I can simply just put the assets back, and that way I feel safe about it. Some of you guys may want to do that as well. However, you are paying fees in order to transfer that money, and while it's not a huge risk, you're always one screw up away from sending your money to a random wallet. That's my one fear about doing this over and over again. Although I've only probably done it like 4 times this year, right? But I think it's worth it if you ask me. But I'm not too concerned overall. Right now, guys, I just want to see Bitcoin have a really good day today. I just want that to happen. We can have it happen, but we have to just break above the 20 and break above the 50-day moving averages. All right. But okay, everybody, I'm going to call it a night. Tonight, I am making Loki homemade dog food for Christmas. It's going to have beef, chicken, grains, carrots, all that type of good stuff in it. Some oils and stuff. So he's going to have a blast. But I'll see you guys tomorrow around 4:30 or 5:30. I'll go live. Tomorrow's Friday, so it might be around 5:30. And then we're just kind of chilling for a while. I'll have my seat down and my desk down, and we can just have a normal, fun little chat. But guys, watch closely what happens today. There's going to be a big move today or tomorrow, I should say. But I'm really hoping today we can get that pop above the 20 and 50-day moving averages. if that occurs, we could have a really, really good day. As long as the stock market also gives us